Hello, this video is to show you how to execute Selenium tests inside of TestComplete. First, we're going to go ahead and create in Visual Studio a C# based NUnit test. Again, you can use it, of course, you can write your Selenium test in Java, in Ruby, in PHP, in Python, however you would like. I just chose to do this in Visual Studio using the C# language. So the first thing you're going to do is actually bring in the NUnit framework. And for this to work with TestComplete, the NUnit framework needs to be the 2.0 version, not the 3.0. Alrighty, not the latest one. You can actually use that with 2.0 for right now. In the future versions of TestComplete, probably they will allow the execution of 3.0 NUnit projects as well. Plus, we're going to bring in some NuGet package, the WebDriver, and the WebDriver support. You can bring in other ones for different browsers as well, like Chrome and IE and Edge and whatever you want. You can bring in the NuGet packages for that. And you'll notice in my test case in here for my test fixture and my test, the only thing I'm doing really is I'm doing something very simple. I'm actually initializing the driver for the Chrome driver, and I'm navigating to my website, www.linotadros.com. And let me bring up Chrome up to show you. This is my website in here. One of the items, one of the blogs, says new TestComplete books for 12.5 release, which is the third one. I would like to actually go ahead and click on that. So you will notice in my code in Visual Studio that I will be trying to do a find element, and we'll do it by link text. There is a lot of different ways you can search for it. I'm going to use a link test, and I'm going to be passing the new TestComplete books for 12.5 released. And if it finds it, it will be able to go ahead and click on it and navigate to that page. Very simple test, just to show how to execute that from inside of TestComplete. First of all, let's go ahead and run this test to make sure that everything is working correctly in Visual Studio. I'm going to open up my Test Explorer. There is my Selenium test. I'm going to right click on test method and we'll run the selected test. And it will take a few seconds in here. We'll initialize NUnit, and you will notice that Chrome will open up. There we go. And it will navigate to linotadros.com, and it will click on the third one that says TestComplete, the new TestComplete books for 12.5. So it definitely finished successfully and everything was correct. All right, now it's time for us to go ahead and take whatever we got out of this specific project in Visual Studio and try to run it from inside of TestComplete, so we can actually get all the test results straight there already. So let's go ahead and open up TestComplete. Let's go ahead and create a brand new project. We'll call it my Selenium test, for instance. You can call it anything you want, of course. And we'll say next, and doesn't matter really which type you choose at this point. I'm going to use the JavaScript language for TestComplete. And there we go. Right now, this project is not capable of actually running Selenium projects. So you'll have to add that to the projects by right-clicking the name of the project and saying Add, New Item. And these are all the different things available in TestComplete that are not part of the current projects. One of them, you will notice all the way pretty close to the end, it says Selenium or Unit Testing. So I'm going to click on that and we'll say OK there. That will add automatically the Unit Testing one project item here in the project. And now I can actually right click and I can say add a new item, and I can actually find out what type of unit test or any kind of test that I'd like to do, which is could be a Microsoft test, a Delphi test, a D unit, J unit, PHP unit, whatever I want. In my case in here, this would be an N unit like we created inside of Visual Studio earlier. And we can give it a name. We can call it, for instance, TC cell for Selenium, and we'll say OK. That will create the item in here. The only thing that you will need to do is to pass the assembly that got created in Visual Studio. It's a DLL, it's an assembly that got created. So we can go ahead and find it. Let's go ahead and find out where we install it. I believe we put it under Documents. It will be under TestComplete Visual Studio 2017 Projects. In here, let's go ahead and do that. And there is one right there. It's called NUnit1.test1.dll. Let's double click on this guy. That is the name of the DLL that I just compiled in Visual Studio. Unfortunately, at this point, you won't be able to run this. If you run this, you're going to get an error because TestComplete doesn't know where the NUnit executable that is supposed to run this for you is. So you will have to set that stuff first. The way to do that, you can go to the Tools menu, say Options, and then under Unit Testing, there will be the third one down will say path to NUnit. It's currently empty, so we're gonna have to find out where is the NUnit executable. As a matter of fact, I'd like to actually put here the console, so there is no user interface at all that will pop up. It will just do it from the console app. So let's click on that, and underneath the program files 86 NUnit 264 in the bin there is an executable called NUnit-console.exe. Double click on this guy. This is the one that has to be in here for the path. Alright, we're just gonna say okay. And now if I would like to run this from inside of TestComplete, I can actually right click on it from here and say run TC cell, and that will execute the DLL and everything inside of it as well, all the different tests. So there it is, running it in Chrome, and there you go. It ran it directly from there, and you'll notice that TestComplete have all the results in here. If you click on it, you'll get exactly what happened inside of NUnit. So you don't have to leave TestComplete to execute your Selenium test, and it can do really great things, and it can be as advanced as you want it to be, but all the execution can happen from inside of there. Hopefully that was useful to you, and hopefully we'll see you again in future videos.